on these.
What? Oh, come on, Quagmire.
Joe, I said dibs.
No, you're right. You said dibs.
First Dibs question today, sponsored by Trantolo and Trantolo, your personal injury law firm. Keith and Scott, third-generation Trantolos. Been doing this for families for over 85 years in Connecticut, Hartford, Waterbury, Bridgeport, New Haven, Torrington, and now a couple of new branches in Riverhead and Melville. So to get a hold of the law offices of Trantolo and Trantolo, don't forget, dial 9-844-999-9999. Oh, God. Was the Mike Tyson slap on Jake Paul staged?
Now, he did have a little combo action there after the slap. If you slow it down, I think he was going for the nuts.
Slapped him.
I think he was going slap in the face, nut shot. But I want to say this is Ariel Helwani that steps in the middle and breaks it up just before he connects with that nut shot at the end of that combo. And he stepped on his shoe.
I know you're putting money on Tyson. I got to ask Kurt. Kurt, what'd you think?
Does a bear poop in the woods?
He does.
Really?
John Ashmead.
Really?
John Ashmead, do you think that was a stage? This is the youngest part of our crew right here.
I don't know. You know what? I don't think it was staged.
Wow.
Yeah, he's locked in.
I think Mike literally had him step on his toe and just slapped him, just right out of initial reaction.
Mike is so locked in. Now, you got to see the footage of Jazzy. I think she is the youngster that interviewed Mike.
That's awful.
And asked him about his legacy and so many words. He said,
Mike Tyson goes so deep and then keeps swearing at the end. I'm horrified for that young lady. I want to
She did a great job.
She did a great. She held together.
She is going to be fantastic in this industry.
Yes, because she's a youngster, and that was a real interview with Mike Tyson. Listen, I can recall when Chuck Liddell came on Best Damn Sports Show.
Fight time.
Week of a fight, and I think it was against Rampage Jackson. And Chris Rose asked him something, and he didn't even answer. And I saw a look in his face like, I'm going to knock you out. And later on, when we became friends, I said, hey, remember that interview? He said, absolutely. He said, we only did those interviews because we were forced to do them.
Right.
He said, the week of a fight, I don't talk to my family. I don't talk to anybody. I really didn't want to talk to you guys. And when he said something that, like, triggered something, I was like, oh, my God. Because no one would have held Chuck back. Chuck would have beat the living crap out of him. And I'm, knock me out with one punch.
That's why I do think maybe the slap was a little predetermined.
But that's what I'm saying.
Maybe that was fake, but I think he's locked in.
I do think Mike Tyson. How about do bare knuckles then? Or even do MMA gloves.
Easy now. Easy.
Give Mike MMA gloves and turn him loose on a human.
Easy. No.
I don't think people can survive. You didn't have to lock him up because listen, I just watched that guy work. You watch him work a bag. He's not just doing it for cardiovascular work. He's doing it to inflict pain. He wants to hurt his opponent. That's that. They are killers. The MMA guys, we've interviewed them.
I was thinking about this when I saw the interview with the young lady Jazzy that, Dibs and I do this a lot, and it's usually our Bellator friends that come through Mohegan the day before. Like, they're fighting Saturday. Usually we do the show on Friday. Like, hey, why don't you interview the two fighters in the main card? And we're always, like, super happy to, but in the back of our minds, we know these dudes do not want to do this.
Right.
And we were about to get them at a certain stage in their mind.
And the vibe they give off is, don't F with me.
Nick
Not
Newell,
right
our one-armed friend, our one-armed fighting friend, he is the most intense I've ever seen on an interview right before a fight. He did not want to talk to us last time we talked to him.
I interviewed Rampage Jackson. I interviewed Chuck Liddell. I interviewed, other boxers, Michael Moore, all these other guys. And I can't remember some of these guys that we used to have on. And it makes the hair on my neck stand up because I'm like, these guys are, if you were to, and here's the thing, because Boss Rutan was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And Boss Rutan does a thing on YouTube. If you've never watched his videos, he's hysterical because this guy's a killer. He fought K1, he fought MMA. This dude is just unbelievable fighter. And he would do all these different things about, if somebody approaches you in a bar, what you should do. And he's like, and he just talks about slamming their face and all this other. But it's comedy. He does like a comedy routine off of MMA stuff. But those guys fight for money. You do not want to try them in a bar in a supermarket or something like that, because you're going to get the worst response from someone that you don't want a response from.
Right.
But I think boxers are the worst. Boxers have taken so much damage to the brain, so much damage that they've inflicted on themselves. That's why I'm saying Tyson's been doing this for 30 plus years. Well, actually 40 years now, since he was 18. Yeah. So I'm going to say when he's probably about 10, 12, 15 years old, he started his boxing career. But once you become an adult, and now there's you watch Rocky, that's pale in comparison to the real abuse these guys do in a gym. They are, that's like basic training, then doing a SEAL training. There's a different level, And so, yes, my brother was in the Navy. They went, 8 weeks, 12 weeks of basic training, whatever. That wasn't like the SEALs do. That's not like the Rangers do. These people are on a different level when they're training to fight almost to the death for a paycheck.
And that's why, even if there is some backroom deal, it's like, all right, Mike, this is what's going to happen. Jake's going to, he's going to take a couple, but you got to lay off because Jake's going to win this fight. And I just think that you cannot cage that animal.
No.
Now, when he is in fight mode, when he is locked in, when he has decided, I'm going to do everything to win this fight, and you try to, you know what, we're gonna take a dive here, Mike. Like, no, not for this guy.
In Pulp Fiction,
when Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis goes back on Ving Rhames.
I love it. My favorite.
That's exactly what I think Mike Tyson would do.
Right. Well, and here's the other thing.
Because I don't think you could ever get Mike Tyson to fix anything in his life.
Now, from what I understand, Mike's already getting paid $20 million for this, win or lose. And that's more than everyone else combined, and it should be. Because
but they haven't paid him yet, right?
I don't know about that.
That's
I don't
probably
know for sure.
Contingent on losing the fight.
Maybe. I'm buying in, man. I think I'm sorry. I've crossed
Hook,
the line.
line, and sinker.
I'm hooked right now. You might get me into the boat around 11:30 tonight.
Might have to do a Saturday morning show.
Come on, Mike.
Post Tyson Paul fight. Who you got coming up next?